We're going to talk about our top 10 free agent guards and wings this coming free agency, man. June 30th on Friday. The names will be announced. And Al, you devised your top 10 list. I got it up here on the Jumbotron, man. Let's just run these off. We got Ayo Dosunmu, a restricted free agent from the Chicago Bulls at 10. Number 9, Seth Curry. This is top 10 guards. Number 8, Dennis Schroeder. Number 7, Gabe Vincent. Number 6, Russell Westbrook. Number 5, Jordan Clarkson. Number 4, D'Lo. Number 3, Fred VanVleet. And number 2, Irving. Number 1, Harden. Look, obviously Harden is the name to watch here. What will happen in terms of, is he going to go to Houston? Or is that just a leverage play, which I think it is, bro. I just think the Harden to Houston thing, it's just a leverage play. I don't believe in it. I can't see why he left that team because their championship window had closed. So, yes, you have relationships, your family there, it's in Turkey Leg Hut, the strip clubs and everything is great. But, like, why would you go back there knowing that the window is closed? To me, this is just a leverage play to opt out of the deal, get more money from the Sixers. You still have your championship window with Embiid, with Maxey, and your core there. The East is still open. Depending on what the Bucks do, depending on how the Celtics look, I think the East is still open. So why would you pass on all of that just to go to Houston? That one just doesn't make sense to me, man. I expect James Harden back with the Sixers, man. What do you think?
I have no idea what's going through James Harden's head, man. I feel like he could also. I agree with you, but I'll play devil's advocate for the sake of the conversation, and let's think about Houston. Family, business, liked it down there, right? He spent most of his time down there, was beloved in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him going back. You got Ime Udoka now. You could consider him as a more, I don't know. You can look at his resume, even though it's so small compared to Nick Nurse. You can be like, kind of like what Ime was able to do with Boston. Maybe if you young guy, you got some young talent over there. Maybe you can get them into shape and play at a more respectable level. I can run with those guys. I need some youthful legs around me anyway, just because of my age. I don't have that same explosiveness that I once had, but I could still be a facilitator. I could still be a good shot creator. You think of having someone like Thompson, right? You think about having, if KJ Martin, if his contract is picked up by that team, you got Cam Whitmore, you got a bunch of young guys down there, Kevin Porter Jr., you got Jalen Green. Look, Sengun is a good passing big, right?
Yeah,
good
I like Sengun. I like Sengun, man.
Yeah, Sengun is good, man. Yeah. He's good at finding cutters.
Yeah.
You could talk yourself, if you're James Harden, saying, I think those young guys just need a veteran who can just control the room and has a commanding presence. And you could say, okay, we move Jalen Green. I get back into that starting rotation, and then we could really shake things up. And then you can attract whatever other free agents to come down there to give more of a veteran presence. Work with Ime Udoka, like I said, who, look, he was a big reason why those Celtics had a turnaround with guys like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who needed that just kind of that strong presence, right, in the locker room, a commanding voice. And I think Ime would have that with those young guys because he's no nonsense. The way he would see after the press is just calling guys out, it's like, these guys are not doing it. And it's like, I think the Rockets need someone like that. I think if you're James Harden, you could talk yourself into that and go back there.
They definitely do need that. And so I can see why they'd be interested in bringing them back, being that extension of Ime on the court. He can lead, despite how he moves from a business standpoint. I think that's completely separate from the basketball side of things. I think from a basketball side of things, a lot of players who play with him will tell you that he can lead. Now, is this the time to do that? I would think this is the time to do that would be after this last big deal. Maybe a 2+1 option. Then you go there, you're 36, you're 35, you're 36. Now you want to finish your career, sunset, your championship window's closed. Now you want to get the young guys in order. I just don't think the time is right now for him to do that because you still have a good opportunity to win the chip going through the East and hoping things fall your way. You're still there. Your Phillies window is still right there. You got the MVP and Embiid. You got Maxey taking another year up. You get some reinforcements there off of the bench. They still need some depth. I don't really like all the pieces off the bench there for them. And even though what's his name? What's the 3-point shooter they got off the bench? I like his game a lot. Melton. I like Melton.
Yeah.
I like Melton a lot. But yeah, good.
So right now, the Rockets are number 1 in total in cap space, right?
Mm-hmm.
They only have 11 players signed. They haven't signed Cam Whitmore or Amen Thompson yet. So you look at the cap, and they're only using 85 million. 85 million. You got to bring in somebody. And if you're James Harden, you're saying, I want to get the bag. That's a team where you can go get the bag this offseason.
Yeah.
And whether or not you're competitive, James Harden is still enough of a presence where you're a playoff contending team. And with that youthful energy over there, something could change. Like I said, you add some veteran presence. Who knows? Maybe you get someone like a Seth Curry to join you to come off the bench and help lead. Maybe you do go get somebody like Fred VanVleet, and he's your point guard, and you're going back to shooting guard, and you still be that playmaker down in Houston. You get those two guys who have playoff experience, and if you get Fred VanVleet, who has that championship caliber type of talent, I think that's a team that you can't really turn down and look away from if you're someone like James Harden. So I get the East is open. We can go compete. Does James Harden care about that? That's the question we need to know, man.
Supposedly he left the Rockets for that. I mean, maybe things have changed, but you know, that was the original
reason. What does he care about more, man? Does he care about winning the chip, or does he care about getting a big bag? Right? Because sometimes, I mean, it's funny we even say that because playing in the NBA, you're still going to get a money that most people would love to see.
Yeah.
But regardless, like, if you really want to cash out and you're looking at a team that has so much cap space, and if you're James Harden, I don't see how you can not consider it and not even be serious at thinking, who can I connect with to go there to make us at least playoff relevant? And that's something that the owner wants, right? He does not want to tank anymore. He does not want to be non-competitive. James Harden helps you with that.
Yeah.
To at least.
Fair point. I think it's VanVleet that Houston ends up with, man. I'm just gonna throw my prediction out there. I think it's VanVleet. I think Harden stays with Philly, and I think VanVleet, as the rumors have pointed to VanVleet being a backup option, I think it is VanVleet. I think that would be a good pickup for the Rockets. You know what I mean? He can play on the ball. He can play off the ball if they want to play him with Green. I like that pickup. Championship pedigree. Give him a little edge. Give him some toughness. Again, be an extension of the coach on the court. They need somebody to get those young guys together. They have a lot of young, promising talent, man. I like how this Rockets young core is looking, but they need kind of a glue to put that all together. And I think VanVleet can help.
They need a playmaker and a guard who can lead and organize. And it's very tough to get a point guard who can come in and do that immediately. So getting someone like Fred VanVleet would help with the development of everyone on that roster. I'm just curious who's going to be on the outside looking in for the Rockets. I know we were talking about James Harden, but you can't have all these guys on the roster who are so young and have a lot of promise, because minutes, it just goes back to the Timberwolves conversation, man. Where are all these minutes coming from? I'm trying to pull up the Rockets depth chart right now and just go through some of the names so that way the listeners know how many young players the Rockets have. Right now, you got Kevin Porter. This is what ESPN, by the way, has as their depth chart. Point guard is Kevin Porter Jr., shooting guard is Jalen Green, small forward is Amen Thompson, power forward is Jabari Smith Jr., center is Alperen Sengun. Second unit would be Jock Landale for point guard. Shooting guard is Josh Christopher. Small forward is Kenyon Martin Jr. Power forward is Tari Eason. Center is Usman Garuba, who's also another good player. And
I like going down that list
too, man. You got Kenyon Martin, like I said, you got Kenyon Martin Jr. You got Cam Whitmore, right? Where all those guys fit in, man. You're telling me that the guy that you just drafted in the first round is going to be playing third on the depth chart, and this is where because I got some questions about the KJ Martin love
Mhm.
that I've been showing and saying maybe that's a guy that you can get in the free agency, because as of right now, the Houston Rockets have not picked up the last year of his contract.
Mhm.
So when you see him on some trackers, he's considered a free agent because there's no clear direction what the Rockets are going to do. But he's a guy who, even though his trajectory has been going up, second round pick, was last season asking to be traded because he wants more minutes. You now have Cam Whitmore. It's hard to tell me that you spend a first round pick on someone like Cam Whitmore, even with all the issues aside, whether it's
Yeah.
medical or effort. Um, he has to get playing time. He has to get playing time. You're not telling me a first round pick is not going to get playing time in his first year when you have it's just hard to believe. Just very hard to believe, especially for a young team like that. So someone's on the outside looking in, man. Someone's on the
Yeah.
outside looking.
No question about it, man. Kyrie, I see Kyrie to the Mavs. I don't think he has a market. Lakers don't look like they're going to be aggressive in trying to get him. I just don't see anybody else but the Mavs having that inside track there. Thoughts?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Kyrie, I'm predicting Kyrie to the Mavs. I don't really see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kyrie to
I,
the Mavs, man.
I think Kyrie to the Mavs is all set and
Yeah.
done. It doesn't seem like he has a market.
Doesn't have a market.
I mean, and you'd think that the whole Lakers LeBron reunion would be one to look out for, but look, as talented as Kyrie is, you have to take his baggage into consideration, whether or not
Yeah.
you agree or disagree with what Kyrie has done over the past couple of years. You have to take into the consideration the amount of games that he's missed. And if you're a team, do you want that media attention? Right. Because
Yeah.
he does bring an attention to him, whether it's right or wrong. There is something that teams do consider. It's like, how much publicity do we want in this light? Do we want to put our PR team through the ringer? I mean, that is what the Brooklyn Nets went through. And you saw that we are okay stripping this thing down.
Yeah.
You had Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and at one point, James Harden, and you stripped it all the way down because you're like, that's it. So I think for Dallas, they're clear running just because Kyrie doesn't have a market, man.
Yeah. I agree, man. D'Lo, I wouldn't touch D'Lo with a 10-foot pole if I'm any team. He's when will listen? Not trying to take food off the guy's plate. He works hard. He's earned his bag. He's out in Toronto right now working out. He works hard. I don't see D'Lo as a winning player. I wouldn't spend more than the vet minimum or mid-level tops on D'Lo. Didn't like his pay. He was okay. He was okay with the Lakers playoffs. He was nowhere to be found. Which was nowhere to be found with the Timberwolves in the playoffs. I wouldn't go near D'Lo. I think I go draft a kid before I put D'Angelo Russell and sign money to him, especially with these new cap conditions, bro.
Wow.
Bro, he stinks. He stinks, bro. Who else? Brody. With the Clippers losing out on Chris Paul, you got to figure Brody goes back there, right? Found found some success there.
Yeah.
They're gonna continue to need a guy that can put pressure on the rim. Played very well for the Clippers. Now that the CP3 thing is out the rear view and the rumors of him not wanting to play with CP3, I have to think that that he goes there unless he gets a bigger bag somewhere else. Because I believe the Clippers can only afford to pay him about $3 million. So we'll see what the market for Brody is. Gonna be very interesting. Has he upped his value a little bit?
I think for Westbrook, he should stay with the Clippers just because you had success there. Like that Lakers run, man. Like everyone saw that was just terrible, a terrible fit.
Yeah.
Regardless of all the jokes aside that came with it, right? If LeBron could win Westbrook a chip, then LeBron's truly the greatest of all time, and all those jokes about that pairing. But you find success with the Clippers. They need somebody, as you said, that can get downhill. I think he's a good yin to the PG-13 and Kawhi Leonard Yang. So if I were him, I'd stay there. I found success there, stay there. I'm back home. Don't think twice about it. Just do it. You made your money, man. I mean, and you got to give credit to Westbrook because when he was on the Lakers, he accepted that role of coming off the bench. So I think his mindset is changing. No one's going, I don't see a team that's really going to make him a lead guard at this point, just because the fit of what he does is so. He's a high usage guy, man. He's a high usage guy. I don't see a team that's going to put him in the starting rotation. He'd have to be comfortable being a 6-man anywhere else. And I think if you want to know that you get some solid minutes, Clippers are going to be that team because they've been looking for somebody who can, once again, command that type of pressure on the rim.
Yeah, no question. I got Clippers there as well. Other notable on this list, whatever, Schroeder, Seth Curry will end up on a vet minimum somewhere. Hopefully the Knicks or someone like that, depending on the moves that they make, they could use a three-point shooter off the bench. Gabe Vincent. I think Vincent will be interesting. Miami has to also make a decision on Strus. Both guys have upped their value. Both guys have earned it in the way that they performed, bringing this Heat team to the championship. They will have to make a decision on Caleb Martin next year, after next season. So, does one of these guys shake loose? Do they sign Vincent, give him the bag, go forward with them, but also have that money as tradable salary in the event that they ultimately want to go get Dame? Sam Amick of The Athletic is saying that Dame wants to go to Miami. I mean, the Dame stuff is just giving me a headache. Every day he's staying, he's going, he's staying, he's going.
Oh,
just make it happen, man. But, with Vincent, I think he could stay with Miami as, part of a continued building block for them or as maybe tradable salary for Dame.
If I'm Miami, I'm figuring out a way. If I'm getting Dame, I'm figuring out a way to get off of Kyle Lowry. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And if you're Gabe Vincent, right? I'm thinking of where do I go to be a starter in this league? Because I started for the Miami Heat. I was in the playoffs. I was a big reason why we made a deep run to the NBA Finals. It'll be interesting how Miami is able to navigate those waters. But I'm in agreement with you, CB, about this whole Dame conversation. Can we just stop? Like, look, man, it's why I even asked David Aldridge.
Get ridiculous, man.
That's why I asked David Aldridge this question, man. Just like, at what point do we just say, come on, man, just give up the whole being loyal thing? At this point, are you even being loyal? Are you even being loyal to the team anymore? It's like, how about the one where his agent had to do, I put in quotation marks, damage control for the song with Miami reference in there? It's like, come on, man. Come on. We know you want to go there. No one's going to be upset at this point. Portland has not done it for you, man. They're screaming that they're doing a rebuild. They're screaming that they're trying to do a rebuild. They're just asking for you to say, I want to go. Just say it.
It's insane, man. It is absolutely insane. So we'll see what happens as the world turns. Dame Dallas edition. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. We got 400 people tapping into the NBA report right now, man. If you guys are in the chat, leave us a hashtag new if you guys are new viewers, and also get those likes up. Let's get up to 400 likes. This is a new channel, so we got to tap into the algorithm. The more we tap in with the algorithm, the more the algorithm will show this video to fans that need to be in here to be watching the number one show for the fans by the fans. We just had John Krasinski, Timberwolves insider, in here dishing on Naz Reid, Karl Anthony Towns. We even talked a little Zach LaVine. We're talking about our top 10 free agent pickups at the guard and the wing spot. Number one show for the fans by the fans, man. It's also a call-in show, 657-383-1509, or you could hit us up on the NBA Report Discord if you want to tap in. I see some new people, but some old people, if you know what I'm saying now. But shout out to Brandon Guest. Shout out to Philip Ross. Shout out to Blood of the Panther. Team Obi. Salute, man. Salute Feliciano Media in here. How you feeling, man? How you feeling? Brandon Guest says keep putting on for New York. Absolutely, man. Salute to Brandon Guest. Big friend of the
Jay
program.
From East New York is in here, too.
Never misses a show. Jay from East New York tapping in. Salute to Will Latimer. Big friend of the program, man. Will Latimer hailing from the ATL. Salute to Will, Michael Powell in here. Salute to Michael Powell as well. So we got some regulars, man. JJ in here as well, man. Okay, so we talked about our guards. Remember the free agency.
I got some honorable mentions if you want to go through some guards.
Let's go through.
Here's some honorable mentions. Quick, tell me if you want to touch on anyone. Okay. Trey Jones, he's currently with the Spurs, but he's a restricted free agent. Okay. Devon Carter with the Milwaukee Bucks.
That'd be an interesting pickup. Being a true
Kobe
pick.
White, also a restricted free agent. Patrick, who's with the Bulls. Patrick Beverly with the Bulls.
Nah.
Shake Milton from the Philadelphia 76ers. And Reggie Jackson on the championship winning Denver Nuggets. Those are some other honorable mentions at the guard position. Any one of those names intrigue you if you're a team around the NBA?
I think Kobe White could be interesting.
Ooh,
I think Kobe White could be interesting.
That's an interesting name that you'd go for, Kobe White.
Well, I mean, you talk about Reggie Jackson, Pat Bev. I mean, those guys are like the all-washed all-stars here, man.
Oh,
yeah, Trey Jones, he's okay, right? I mean, of that list, who gives me the most upside, right? I'm going Kobe White.
You're going Kobe White.
Who else did you have on that list? Yeah, Trey Jones. Who else?
Javon Carter, Patrick Beverly.
I like Carter. He's a scrapper. He's definitely a two-way scrapper. I think he could help a veteran team. I would look at Boston, who just lost to Marcus Smart. Obviously, he's not replaceable, but a Boston, he's restricted.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Carter's restricted or unrestricted?
He's unrestricted.
I think Boston should take a look at that. You know, does he last finished with Milwaukee, right?
CP, don't say that too loud for the Celtics, man. Come on. But yes.
Yeah, I think Boston should take a look at a guy like that. Someone to add some toughness. You know, a dog picks up 94 feet. You know, can get it done, can knock down a three. I think Boston should take a look at that. He might be a little bit better than Pritchard.
Shake Milton's interesting.
Milton
I like his game.
Yeah,
I like his game. I think he's an interesting guard as well to look at on the market. I don't see Trey Jones leaving the Spurs.
Yeah,
but he's a guy like his brother, can control the rock, good facilitator, not really a good shooter. He can get downhill a little bit. Right. He needs to improve his game, but if you're looking for someone who's that traditional point guard who can just bring the rock up for you and start facilitating, that's a guy that you can rely on.
Salute to Soldier Slim in the chat. Salute to Gene Vernelis, team hashtag new. Gene, how you feeling, man? Okay. All right, so we got through our all-washed all-stars. Kobe White being the shining star out of those. Hey, 37% from 3, 4 attempts. Might be able to help a team. We'll see if the Bulls look to move forward with him.
Disrespect.
I mean, the Bulls should probably go forward with him as they, try to scrape up something of a youth movement and try to move forward because their big three is destined to fail.